The world is waking up, the veil is falling down, and the illusion is losing its strength. If you can't see that the world is waking up, it's because you're not paying attention. In the aftermath of George Floyd's death, thousands of poor and working class whites stood shoulder to shoulder with black protesters declaring that Black Lives Matters. This has never happened before to this degree of outrage. This totally terrified the white ruling elites that have always deployed propaganda campaigns that keeps the poor and working class whites divided from the black population. This solidarity between both groups demonstrated that the ruling elites' propaganda campaigns to keep us divided is losing its effectiveness. In the U.S., the Jewish-controlled media has always been used to keep sentiment in favor of Jerusalem and insensitive to the plight of the Palestinians. However, today, millions of people now care more about the Palestinians. This also demonstrates that the propaganda campaigns is losing its effect. Trump's disastrous presidency immediately following Obama's more impressive presidency has totally shattered the perception that whites are inherently superior to black on a global scale. The world is waking up, the veil is falling down, and the illusion is losing its strength. Many now know that the world's ruling elites are evil. Many now know of the sexual depravity that exists within Hollywood, and also among religious leaders. Many black people now know that the true reason why many call themselves by the N-word is actually a social construct by white oppressive forces. Many people also are waking up to the fact that history is a whitewashed lie, that religion is used to control, that media is used to manipulate, that education is actually indoctrination, that entertainment is used to distract, and that governments are actually corporations, and that Neanderthals from Europe are masquerading themselves as being the highest evolved African Homo sapiens. The ruling elites sits upon a throne of lies. Dr. Zbigniew Brzezinski, a national security advisor, political scientist, and advisor to several U.S. presidents and other Western world leaders, said before his death in 2017 that the ruling elites are now more afraid than any previous time in history. Because before now, their greatest power was always the fact that they control all the information that the world believes. This fact has always allowed them to keep the world believing lies that empowered themselves. This change, now that verifiable information is now available at the fingertips of the masses. This accessibility to information is predominantly due to the minds of black people. Philip Emeagwali, a Nigerian computer scientist, is regarded as the father of the internet. He invented the supercomputer in 1987 that led to the invention of the internet. The reason why everyone is now able to access the internet is because of an African-American computer scientist named Emmet McHenry. McHenry created a complex computer code whereby ordinary people can now surf the web or send and receive emails. He created what we now know as being simply as .com. The person responsible for the modern PC that everyone's now using is also a black man. An African-American named Dr. Mark Dean. Dean is the inventor, computer scientist, and engineer responsible for developing a number of landmark technologies, including the modern color PC, the industry standard in 1981. The original cell phone was invented by Henry Sampson in 1983. He created the gamma electric cell. The reason why we now have the digital cell phone is also because of a black man, an African-American named Jesse Eugene Russell. He pioneered the field of digital technology in the 1980s. Jesse Russell created the digital network of 2Gs, which predates 5G. Without black people, there would exist no cameras and microphones on our cell phones. If these disclosures shocks you, it's because your perception of reality is an elaborate white deception. The white society's negative depictions of black people is not at all consistent with reality. It in fact bears almost no relation to reality whatsoever. It's the result of an elaborate perception management system, a nefarious racist perception management system that falsely denigrates and marginalizes the image of black people as a means of maintaining the white society's social capital over black people. Perception management is a propaganda technique that involves altering the public perception of reality to suit the objective of the ruling class. It's an essential part of modern information warfare. This is all possible because public perception of reality is not shaped based upon facts nor reality. Public perception is actually shaped by the narratives that are fed into a society. Therefore, the basic tool required for the distortion of reality is to merely constantly feed distorted narratives into the society. The public at large will then function based upon those false narratives rather than what the true reality is. According to social scientists, perception is more important than reality because people function based upon a perception of reality. Therefore, they keep repeating false information into society that denigrates black people and falsely exalts whites. This creates perceptions in society that creates social norms that aids in maintaining white social dominance over black people. It's a true social science. Because the white society controls all societal narrative, they therefore literally owns the public perception of reality. They've exploited this immense position of power by repetitively and systematically feeding false narrative into a society that falsely exalts their racial group and that falsely marginalizes black people. Doing so creates false perceptions and assumptions within society that aids them in maintaining their social dominance. All societies function based upon the narratives that are fed into it. We are now waking up. The true awakening is happening. One love and peace.